time for the Get Down on the Get Down with Tim and Shawn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Stephen Wolf.
Woo.
Born to be Wild. It's one of them songs.
Born to be wild.
Just one of them songs makes you want to get up and do something. Kind of like Taco.
Hot dog.
That's Tim.
That's Shawn.
And you know where you're at.
And it's time for the Get Down
On the Get Down
with Tim and Shawn.
What are we talking about tonight? What's just something a little
Well,
fun?
we're talking about traveling.
And that's what that music is for.
Shawn's going on a trip, man.
Next week.
He going to ride a bus?
Oh, yeah. On the bus again.
Yeah.
The good old Greyhound
bus. It's been a long time since I rode a bus now.
It's been quite some time for me.
I had some trips on some buses now.
We had a trip on a bus one time. That was...
Job Corps.
That was a fun bus
Oh,
ride.
man, did they lie to us with that one?
They lied out their asshole.
What'd they say? What'd the recruiter say?
I wasn't a recruiter. It was that damn bus driver, that lying asshole. He said, what? Steak and eggs? Well, they had one thing, right?
Steak and eggs on poolside.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They had a pool. They had a pool, but it didn't happen in that general...
They didn't have steaks. There wasn't even no eggs. They had the eggs in the
powdered.
Yeah.
Powdered eggs. We traveled. We thought that was a good idea to travel on a bus to pretty much go to the same place. We were already doing things like that at home. It was an insane bus ride. It was fun. We can't go into too many details. There was a little drinking.
But the bus ride, man, I bet you we stopped 30 times in between here in Kentucky.
Yeah, it took a day and a half, something like that. It was started off really like boring, and then all of a sudden, I think by the time we got close to Tennessee, when things turned up.
We got somewhere and they put us on a school bus. Remember that? We got to one of the bus stations and they put us on a school bus.
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
Another bus station.
It's been a long time.
In a yellow, not even an activity bus. It was a yellow school bus. And they say, y'all gotta get on that bus over there. We was on the Greyhound.
We went from comfortability to it sucks. Because everybody was quiet.
Say, y'all going to the prison. No,
it didn't help.
We're not going to prison. We're going to Job Corps. And then they kept insisting that it was the prison.
Yeah, everybody was, and I'm telling you right now, like I said, there was some beer on the bus. And so
there was a freaking riot going on when we got there.
Shortly after.
When we were pulling up, there was already a riot going on in the place. There was freaking cops everywhere.
Well, they had like security. I didn't really see all of it.
Dude was spraying the fire extinguisher. Remember?
Oh, I remember that day he did that. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
It was crazy, man.
I mean, the same shit that was going on wherever you live, wherever you're from, was going on there. It's like we didn't need to go here to go to school. I could have stayed home for this. And you couldn't leave.
Yeah, that place was crazy, man.
It was not fun.
If anybody is thinking about going to Job Corps, Job Corps is not a bad place.
Don't do it.
But don't go to Earl C. Clemens. Don't go to Kentucky. Go to a Job Corps somewhere here in Jacksonville or in North Carolina or Virginia.
And do your research. Don't listen to your friend either.
Woo!
It was his idea.
Hey man, that guy said.
I mean, it wasn't all.
Pay us. They were going to give us. We were going to get job skills.
The money wasn't that great, but they didn't lie about that.
Hey,
but you know what's funny? Do you remember how
they gave us free food, free clothes? The place wasn't bad. The problem was the people that were at the one we went to were people that had a choice whether they wanted to go to Job Corps or prison or join the military. You know, and
that was their choice.
Too young, they all picked Job Corps.
They didn't want to go to juvie
they were crazy, man. That
whatever.
One kid got his head bashed right there in the lunch line when they broke the tray right over his head.
I honestly don't remember that.
Remember that?
I was 16 years old. I'm 38 now. It's been a while. Some of the things I just don't remember.
There was one boy we called Psycho.
I remember him.
And he would go to the liquor store, which was across a field.
Yeah, it was a ways.
And the field was...
It was a little ways away.
It was a big field. It wasn't a Jacksonville.
You'd have seen this guy walking through the field, trust me.
This was a Kentucky green grass. You couldn't see the other side of the field. Like, and he had to go to the other side of the field, then cross a road, then go across another field, then get to the other road to go to the liquor store. Well, one day... he never came back. And there was a lot of stories going on, and we were young, and you didn't know if he just got caught.
Well, I'm sure they would have brought him back.
He just got caught. There was a lot of stories.
Well, maybe they called him. They said, "No, you're too much trouble. Go home." That's what they did to me.
Nothing while you're in there. You can't find nothing out about nobody.
Well, yeah, back then, what was it? 19...
the news channel set on.
Oh, this was in '96. This was in '96 too. So we didn't have cell phones. Beepers were around, yeah, but
I had a pager, man.
I mean, some people had cell phones and all that, but guys like us and where we were at, nobody had. You weren't even if they did have them, they weren't allowed.
Job Corps, man, everybody kept paging me, and I'd get their pages, but I couldn't call them back.
I mean, they had payphones you could have used, but you had to have money or 1-800-COLLECT or something like that. So let's. Other than Job Corps and that little traveling spiel,
was crazy.
That was a travel of a lifetime for sure. What about some nice places that you've been to that you got to go see when you remember that you've been?
I've seen a lot of places. I've been to Kansas City. I've been to Kansas City, Missouri.
Right.
I've been to Arizona.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of my brothers lives in Arizona.
Okay.
And
when you went to Arizona, how'd you do that?
We drove, but I don't remember the ride.
How old were you?
I was probably 12 last time.
Yeah, that would be a long time ago. I mean, I've done some traveling in my time. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, my mom's travel would take us, and it was a road trip to come down to North Carolina and visit our grandparents and hang out. And, this was like in 1989, 1990. We did it 2 years in a row, trying to make it a thing. Oh, you went to St. Louis?
St. Louis.
Did you see the arch?
Yes.
That would have been cool. I bet that was cool.
Ricky and Betty Jean, all them rode in the arch, but when I went, we didn't. We didn't ride it at that time.
What is that? I wonder how that works. Like, it kind of goes up like this and this, right? Like, how far does it finally go up where you get some stairs or something to where you have to walk to where you get to see, over and all? That's, have to ask them that. I've never been. I would love to go see that. It'd be like being in the Statue of Liberty. I traveled to New York. That's one thing I regret. I wish I could have went and seen the Statue of Liberty one time. So
I heard the Statue of Liberty smells really bad.
I don't know. I've never been there. I've never heard any stories like that.
I've heard it.
I mean, I know it's old. It's out on the water.
Yeah.
I got to live upstate. I lived in upstate New York for a while, and got to drive around the mountains and all that. Went and visited somebody a few hours away just to travel the little road. It was a road trip. If it's more than an hour, it turns into a road trip. So that was a real fun little road trip,
Been to Atlanta a few times. I've been to a couple other places in Georgia.
Didn't get to do a whole lot of
across no seas or nothing. I'm hoping one of these days I get to go on a cruise or something.
Well, they don't cruise that far no more. If you're gonna go, when you're gonna travel that far now, it's just you're gonna take a flight. The way cruise lines work, they go down to like Jamaica and Puerto Rico and all down. They just could do this whole little circle thing all the way up. So that would still be fun. It'd still be fun as hell. You're out on the ocean.
Man, I remember when I came home from Job Corps when I got kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
Man, dude, I bet you I changed buses 30 times.
More than you went there.
Yes, way more.
I think honestly we changed 3 times all the way there.
They kicked me out, and because I did that to that boy, and then I cracked the boy in the head with a lock.
It was just a bad day. Let's just leave it at a bad day. Caught him on a bad day, and that was all.
And they kicked me out, and they said they were going to push charges, but they never did. Then I got home. I was home for about a month, and then I got a check in the mail for like $1,000 from them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't get that much. I got 2 checks worth $300. I was like, holy crap! They're still sending me money.
They still sent me a few more checks for $40, $60, $80.
Like, how much of your money you probably didn't spend while you were there, obviously, or something? I don't know. Unless it kept adding up.
I don't know what happened, but when I got that check,
like you're gonna complain?
Down, dude. And you were still in Job Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I almost did my 6 months. I just started missing home. I was 16 years old. My way getting home, what I did best. I skipped class every day.
Well, I remember.
I just didn't want to go anymore. I was done. I was like, I'm done here. Find a way to that was the one way I decided to leave.
Dude.
Skipping classes. They had enough of it.
What was the building called? Pigeon Palace.
Yeah, that place was a wreck, though. You used to hang out there.
Man. Yeah, that was just the hangout spot. It was a huge building. Like, they probably used it for, it was a military base at one time or something.
Yeah, it was. They said you could still find stuff around there.
It was just shut down, and
they turned it into that.
The whole top of the place was full of pigeons, and it was just so crazy, man.
So, what's some places that you'd like to travel to one day, though? Outside, Job Corps was a mystery until we got there.
I'd like to go see the Grand Canyon, man.
That'd be kind of neat. Yeah, I kind of like stuff like that.
Man, I want to take my family to see Grand Canyon.
That'd be one hell of a road trip.
I'd like to take them to Disney World one of these days.
Yeah, I hear you. That'd be fun too.
Disney
That's
World,
good travel.
Disneyland, either one.
You know where I regret I seriously regret not getting to go there? I lived in upstate New York. I lived 2 hours away from Cooperstown, and the baseball fan that I am and the Yankees fan that I am, I can't believe I had missed out on that opportunity. But the one thing I did get to go do when I was living there also was that I got to go to Yankee Stadium for the first and last time, because it happened to be the same year that they were moving next door. They got their new stadium. So I got to go see them. They lost to the Reds. Me and a buddy of mine went. They lost to the Reds, but it was cool because you got to see Ken Griffey Jr. and you got to see Alex Rodriguez play against each other, former teammates when they used to be on the Mariners. So
that was with Alec.
Yeah, I went with Alec.
Alec,
what's going on, buddy?
Yo,
get in touch sometime, or just come and get down on the Get Down.
Yeah.
So I think a little intermission time, some traveling music is in obviously our thing tonight. So little traveling music. A place I'd love to travel to, man, if I can ever afford it. I'd like to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and
I would too.
NFL, just to go to the NFL Hall of Fame.
But it's in Ohio, man.
Yeah. What's the one? That's still two good things in Ohio.
To go to Ohio, God, man.
Well, if you want to go there, if you want those places
through Ohio to get there.
Well, I think the Hall of Fame is. I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is more in the city, and the Hall of Fame is a little bit more just somewhat out. So, more traveling music.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Yeehaw! Oh yeah. Tell me if this song comes on when you're traveling, you wouldn't turn it up.
On the road again.
On the road again.
So, traveling. I'd love to do some more one day. Hopefully one day in my life I get to be able to just get in the car, take off.
737 coming out of the sky. Oh, won't you take me down to Memphis or a maybe down to I wanna move. Playing in the traveling rain. Yeah, let us fly across the land. Trying to get a hand. Playing in the traveling rain. Take me to the hotel, baby, going nowhere. Come on, won't you take me to where we won't move.
Good traveling music right here, I tell you. Even when you're just driving down the road. Old school? Did you say that twice?
I'm a traveling man, made a lot of stops all over the world, and in every port.
Give you a history lesson here in just a second, y'all.
One lovely girl, I'm a pretty senorita, waiting for me down in old Mexico.
So, little history lesson right there. That last guy you had heard us play, his name was Ricky Nelson.
Ricky Nelson.
And if it wasn't for him, I would have never known this. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and give you all this little history lesson. If anybody grew up during the 80s and the early 90s and all that, old enough to remember music, there was a...
He's a good singer, Ricky Nelson, man.
Yeah, he is.
I get freaking chills when I listen to him sing.
Right. He has two sons, twins.
Yeah,
they were called the Nelsons.
Did it for a little while.
Did it for a little while during the big boom 80s and all that.
And the big hair band shit.
I would say they were a little bit of a hair band, but they had good music. I don't remember all their songs. I wasn't huge on them, but that's
They had
Papa.
2 or 3 songs I liked.
That was Papa, Ricky
Alright.
Nelson.
Now I did see the boys perform his songs. The Nelson twins perform Ricky's songs. He sounded just.
It
like
was
his
really
daddy.
good. It was good stuff. Yeah, I
him.
liked it. You know, and so are we traveling? Are we gonna? We ready? Are you ready for a quick focus on what's coming up next week? Which used to be every kid's favorite time of year or something, except for Christmas. Christmas, everybody look forward to Christmas. Halloween's coming up. Little Halloween story, I think, is due.
Woogie.
Do you remember growing up and the people that were lazy to leave the candy outside in the bowl? They said, take 2, take 1, whatever, however the amount they said. They'd say, there'd be like 7 of us.
The bowl.
And you just dump a little bit in each bag and you go down the line.
Out there that says, take 1.
Take 1, take 2, something like that.
The bowl be
we were little buttheads back then. We're not encouraging, don't do that. I'm sure there's still kids out there that do that, but don't do that. Leave some for the other kids.
I never did that.
You know what you want to do though? Leave the really crap candy in there. Take the good stuff as quick as you can.
I'll tell you what though, they say that a lot of kids run around stealing bags or whatever, steal bags.
Yeah, I remember that used to going on.
I've never had any kind of recurrence where anybody's tried to snatch my.
I can honestly say I went through that same thing.
I mean, I've heard of it, but
yeah.
Never.
What was Halloween?
Did you
ever
repeat a happy time?
Did you ever repeat a Halloween costume? Or did you try to do it differently every year?
I was a ghost a few years.
A ghost that was
I
easy.
didn't use the same sheet.
Why not? The holes are already there.
Woo!
I think I did a punk rocker thing for 2 years in a row. Honestly, did it a little different. But Halloween was always
like a vampire or something. You didn't really have to dress up. You just put the teeth in.
Yeah.
Vampire. Paint up your face a little bit.
Get a little blood.
You know.
Halloween, though, was always a fun time of year because also the horror movies used to come on. Some of my favorite horror movies, like Night of the Living Dead, Freddy Krueger, Jason movies. Some of your, like, funnier movies, probably, I'm sure you like, because you're a big comedy guy.
Well,
because there was always
Halloween movies I like to be scary. Like,
yeah.
I remember an old one called The Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that movie when I was a kid. And, I do remember some comedies, though. Of like
little spoofs kind of thing.
I can't remember what it's called, but it had Andy Griffith and Barney in it.
Really?
And they were in a haunted house.
Oh, okay.
And it was a funny little movie. The newer Halloween movies that they make, they try to make them funny.
Yeah.
Tried to watch that
Scary
haunted
movie.
house.
Scary Movie 1 and 2 for me was about it. After that, I didn't like them anymore.
Tried to watch that haunted house movie.
It was okay.
It was alright, but.
So, Halloween, good time of the year. Some people, they get to take their kids trick-or-treating and play jokes on each other and scare each other. They just don't make the horror movies, though, today. I guess it's because I'm grown and they don't scare me no more, but sometimes Freddy still kind of gives me the creeps. Jason definitely gives me chills. Michael Myers is creepy as hell. He's peeking around corners and shit, just looking at you. And then all of a sudden, you're dead.
And that's the get down on the get down.
So everybody have a happy Halloween.
Shawn.
Enjoy. And something new from Taco. Enjoy. Turn it up.
Oh, yeah. 2017, y'all. Who's on my team, y'all? Oh, yeah.